What's up? Welcome back to 3 Minute Ops Tips. I'm Alyson Caffrey, and today I'm going to talk about why your assistant might not make the best operations manager. Now, I've heard this so often. A lot of folks think that when it comes time to really get a lot of their things behind the scenes organized, that they just need to take the most organized person, which is usually either their assistant or their project manager or someone like that, and really create a way to have them just implant themselves into the operations. Now, while some functions of that might be helpful, especially administratively, right? Making sure the schedule is happening, making sure communication is clear, making sure that bills are paid and things are on time, a lot of things that assistants are doing, right? Day in and day out. But then when we start to take a look at like capacity planning and key performance indicators and metrics and things that are going to help our team run, right? What repeatable processes do we have, right? At the strategic, at the management, and at the how-to level, where does that person fit in? And I think that there's kind of a couple of misconceptions here. A lot of times folks will hire an assistant before they've created any procedures for an assistant. And the same thing happens with operations managers, unfortunately, is they will hire a person to say, all right, this person's going to solve all my problems. They understand what's going on here. And they don't create anything for the operations manager to manage. And that is a critical mistake, because ultimately what ends up happening is they don't actually have a job, right? You just kind of throw them in and you tell them to clean up your mess. And then what ends up happening is they end up failing, and they end up feeling like they're not doing well in their role, and they end up feeling like this isn't the home for them. And that might not actually be true. You might have a wonderful fit and a wonderful personality come in, and just because we haven't really shored things up on the back end, they may feel like this isn't the place for them. And unfortunately, the same might be true for some of our customers, but that's a whole other conversation. Now, what we can do to begin to structure the way that our operations are and see if our assistant might be a fit, but more likely you might have somebody who comes in and helps you, at either a part-time level or a full-time level, depending on where your company is at this point. Usually at about 30 employees, an operations manager or a director of operations, a more senior level person, makes a lot of sense. At the very least, you're looking at, somebody to come in and help you keep procedures and documents and all the things that the team is using at tip-top shape. So what you really can do is take a look at, first and foremost, what are my standards of operating, right? What happens day in and day out? What do we absolutely need to be doing to keep the lights on? And you can take a look at this in each of your departments, right? Your administrative, your marketing, your sales, your fulfillment, your, finance, all of those things. And so first and foremost, standard operating procedures. Second is growth initiatives. How are we planning projects internally to hit the things that we want to hit? And the third thing is, what are we tracking, right? What are the definitions of success? And what are we really looking at week in, week out, day in, day out, month in, month out, all of those kind of fun things to be able to tell us how we are doing. So if you have those things, you have a recipe for an amazing operations manager to come in and whip you up something awesome. Hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next time on 3 Minute Ops Tips. Take care.